The Microsoft Hybrid Server Administrator Associate certification consists of two exams, the Az800 and Az801 exam. After successfully completing both exams, in my opinion, the Az800 and Az801 exams are arguably the easiest test in the infrastructure stream within Microsoft Azure. So even if you are breaking into the industry, working as a system administrator or a seasoned IT professional, the Microsoft Hybrid Server Associate Az800 and Az801 exam is your stepping stone to become officially certified. So if you're ready to dive in deep, let's go. Hey everyone, I'm Jayde, and this is the Career Podcast where we will discuss leveling up your IT skills and landing your dream role. Today we'll be breaking down the Az800 exam. It's Microsoft's designing and administrating Windows Server Hybrid Core Infrastructure exam. I know the name is very long, but your study plan doesn't have to be. In this video, I'm going to break down the steps for you to successfully pass your Az800 exam. Part 1. What is the Az800 and why should you care? If you are an IT technician, a service desk analyst, a system administrator, or looking to level up, passing this exam tells people you are able to manage and configure Windows core services and features. This exam is for people who manage Microsoft Windows servers and administrate services like Active Directory, group policy, file shares, hybrid integration, and everything in between. Part 2. What you need to know for the Az800 exam. Now let's talk about what you actually need to understand to pass this exam. I'm going to break down each key topic so you know exactly what the role of each technology plays and why it matters in real-world IT server environments. Directory Domain Services, or ADDS, is the identity foundation of Windows Server's infrastructure environment. It stores and manages users, computers, groups, and security settings within a structure called a domain, making it the central authority for authentication and access control into your IT environment. This technology has been around for over 20 years and remains critical to both modern and legacy IT environments. Multiple domain controllers, or DCs, typically are deployed to ensure continuity if one fails. DCs maintain login and authentication services without interruption. Behind the scenes, certain responsibilities are distributed across specialized roles known as FSMO roles. These roles handle tasks like maintaining time synchronization, maintaining domain-wide changes, and ensuring smooth replications between domain controllers. Understanding what these roles do will help you grasp how the entire Active Directory system stays stable and reliable. Understand Azure AD Connect. Azure AD Connect links your on-premise Active Directory domain services to your Microsoft Cloud tenant. It enables users to access cloud services like Microsoft 365 with the same credentials users use on-premise. It does this using single sign-on via 3 authentication methods. 1. Password hash synchronization syncs password hashes to Entra ID so users can authenticate directly into the cloud. 2. Pass-through authentication authenticates users against on-premise domain controllers in real time via a connector called Azure AD Connect Agent. 3. Federation with ADFS. This redirects authentication entirely to on-premise Active Directory Federation services for full control and customization by your IT admins. Azure AD Connect also allows you to enable features like staging mode for redundancy and password write-back, which allows password resets to sync back to on-premise domain controllers. The key idea is one user, one identity across both environments. That is what hybrid identity is all about. For the Az800 exam, focus on setup basics, choosing the right sign-in method and how to troubleshoot user authentication, for understanding DNS and DHCP. DNS is like the phone book of the internet. It turns names into IP addresses. It's your internal Windows service for named infrastructure. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP, is like a receptionist. You configure the IP scope and it hands out IP addresses to every device that joins your network for seamless connectivity to your environment. These services work quietly in the background, but without them, nothing connects. You don't need to be a deep dive expert, you just need to know when people can't access a website or get an IP address. It usually starts with DNS or DHCP. Next is file share and storage. Every department wants their own space, their own rules. That's where permissions and share roles come in. Windows Server lets you create, secure, organize file shares for each department with precise control over access. There are two key permission layers. One, NTFS permissions, which control access at the file level. Now this is important. Two, share permissions, which apply accessing files over the network. In simple terms, these tools are used to control who sees what and how. Furthermore, access-based enumeration features hide folders users don't have permissions to see. Finally, DFS, or Distributed File System, improves availability by replicating shared folders across servers and networks, so users can still access their files even if the server fails. Understanding the differences between NTFS permissions, which live on the file system, and share permissions, which live over the network, is key to passing the Az800 exam. Group policies, or GPOs, are like company-wide instructions. If you want to lock a user's screen after 5 minutes, or stop USBs from being used, or you want to apply a registry change on company PCs, you can configure a GPO to enforce the requirement when it applies to hundreds of machines for easy administration control. The power here is centralized control, and knowing how GPOs are configured within Active Directory in hierarchy with inheritance, filtering, and enforcement is the key to unlocking your success in this area. Backup and recovery. This is about sleep at night confidence. Let me explain. If a domain controller crashes, can you bring it back? If someone deletes a critical file, how do you recover it? It's about protecting your IT infrastructure. There are two core backups: file backups and system state backups. File backups are exactly that. It's about protecting documents, folders, and data. System state backups are different. They capture critical components like the registry, Active Directory databases, and boot files. That's what you use to recover a domain controller. When you need to do a recovery of a domain controller, you have two recovery options. 1. A non-authoritative restore brings a domain controller back and syncs with other domain controllers in your network to restore the lost files. 2. An authoritative restore does the opposite. It forces your restored object, like a deleted user or OU, to overwrite all changes made by other DCs. You will also see tools like Windows Server Backup, Azure Backup, and Azure Backup Agent monitoring and performance. Even if everything works, how do you know it's working well? This is where monitoring tools like Event Viewer and Windows Admin Center and Azure Monitor comes in. Running a server is one thing, but keeping it healthy, that's where the real admin work begins. For the Az800 exam, you will need to understand how to proactively monitor performance and spot issues before users can even notice them. This means knowing the following tools: Event Viewer that lets you drill down into system logs, file errors, warnings and pre-ordered failures, essentially diagnosing login issues, service failures and group policy problems. To Windows Admin Center gives you a modern, centralized way to check performance, services, and system health across multiple servers. 3. Azure Monitor extends this into hybrid environments, collecting metrics and alerts from both cloud and on-premise systems. You will be tested how to identify bottlenecks like high CPU usage, memory leaks, and slow authentication, and how to respond using the right tool in the exam. In week 1, you should learn how domain controllers sync, how to manage FSMA roles, and how GPOs apply across the domain. You will need to understand replication. In week 2, you should get hands-on with DNS and DHCP, configure zones, learn how failovers work, and build file shares with the right permissions. 3. You should dive into Azure AD Connect. Understand authentication type, staging modes, sync conflicts, filtering rules, and how to fix sign-in issues without breaking the sync engine. 4. You should learn backups and monitoring tools. You will need to simulate restores, configure Azure Backup, and set alerts with Event Viewer and Admin Center. Using trusted study tools. The way I prepared for the exams are using reliable tools to support my preparation. 1. The Udemy practice test. Great for exam simulations, identifying my weak areas, and practicing time management for the test. Exam topics. Useful for analyzing question patterns and learning from peer-reviewed explanations. Number 3. The Microsoft Official Learn Guide for AZ800. Don't focus on knowing everything in the official learning guide. Use it as a tool to fill in the gaps where you don't understand topics that are covered in the practice test from Udemy and exam topics themselves. So this is a filler for deep diving into the technology in which you don't understand. So, use the tools to build both knowledge and decision-making confidence. Exactly what the AZ800 is designed to assess. And there you go, my detailed explanation of the AZ800 exam. If you follow the plan, you will succeed, because these are fundamental technologies used daily at most levels of IT. Therefore, the hill of a certified hybrid server administrator is not very difficult, and you can certainly achieve it. So, if you like this content, follow along, subscribe, and share your questions. Thanks for being here, and I'm Jayde, and this is the Career Podcast.